Hey, what's up, guys? This is Tomas Ramirez, the owner of Positive Gains Training, located in Allen Park, Michigan. We are proud to present you another episode of Impact Beyond the Weights. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Tomas Ramirez from Positive Gains Training, and I'm just blessed to be on Impact Beyond the Weights. So today I just want to answer a few questions for you guys, just a little bit more about me, about the business, and our hopes and aspirations for the podcast of Impact Beyond the Weights. So I personally grew up seeing my dad lift weights almost all my entire life. He's still very active. You know, for him personally, sports is a huge thing. He used to play baseball, play football, play basketball. So, just hearing my dad tell me these stories and witnessing him lift weights in the basement at times when I'd go over to his house or to my grandparents' house at that time. And then as I got older, we'd go to the gym together or work out in the basement. But for me personally, what really got me more into it, besides my dad's influence, was just my physicality at that time. From about 6 to 7 years old, I grew up as a chubbier kid. So I'd always wear like jerseys or like baggier clothes because I didn't want them to stick to me. Going swimming, boy, I used to hate going swimming. I used to hate taking my shirt off. I was just embarrassed being called names from friends and kids at school, even my own family members at times. So, it really affected my self-esteem, which I hardly had any. So, at 13, we'll say about 13 turning to 14, I'll never forget it. It was that summer I was playing baseball and I was like, you know what, I'm going to start lifting. Obviously, my motivation back then was more so the focus of women because, 13 years old, you're starting to take more interest in the opposite sex, right? So, my motivation was to start to look better, start to feel better. It wasn't necessarily play baseball better, but it was just about attracting women, just having some confidence in myself that I never had. So I started doing it. I'll never forget, I was super sore. I went to go play baseball and it was one of my worst games because I was so sore, as I've never really personally trained like that before. I could barely do push-ups, couldn't do any pull-ups. We had some weight sets in my basement, the cheap little weight sets that you could use that are not Olympic bars. So if you threw the 45 on one side, use hurry up and running over to the other side so that way it didn't fall over. Yeah, we had those ones. So it wasn't the Olympic bar, but it was a good starting point. My stepdad motivated me as well. My dad, when I go train with him, also motivated me. So, I started to enjoy it. I started to pick it up. I'd buy the muscle and fitness magazines just so I can do the routines because I clearly didn't know what I was doing at that time besides just what I learned. But like form, regimens, all that stuff, like I had no idea. So 13 turning 14 was when I really started to pick it up. I enjoyed it automatically. I was just attached to it. And again, my motivation then was just how I looked and just drawing the attention of women. So that really was my big factor, and just building confidence in myself that I never had. So I've been training now, again, since I was 14 years old, just turning 14 that summer, and I'm currently 31. So I've been training for 17 years now, and I've just been loving it. I can't imagine my life without training. Like, that is one of the biggest things. Like, if someone asked me, like, what is something that you could do the whole entire, your rest of your life, and probably be training and exercising to some caliber. Obviously, I'm a little bit older now, so like I'm more wiser and my goals and my focus are different. So of course, everybody wants to look good, but for me personally, it's like I just want the longevity. Yes, I want to look good in my bathing suit in the summertime. Yes, I want to have that confidence and wear nice tight shirts like this one, have my pants a little bit snug, show off these quads and stuff like that. But that's a bonus. But for me personally, I just want to age gracefully, if you will. Like, I don't want to be having pain in my knees, pain in my elbows, having all these random inflammations and stuff like that. I don't want to be on medication. Thank God, like my dad's not. My parents don't take that much medication, so thank God for health. But, it's just these things now that are motivating me more, to be appealing to my wife and stuff like that. But it just changes. Do I still train intense? Of course, I still train intense. I love high intensity. I love challenging myself. I'm a very visual person, so I can watch Rocky or like that Creed 3 that just came out, and it'll get me motivated. Like, I want to go to the gym. I want to just be, just tear it up and just go kill this workout really quick, So I'm a very visual person. Even watching TV shows like the Special Forces with the celebrities where they went through basic training, if you will, or real life tactics of Navy SEALs, and just seeing like their intensity. And I'm like, man, like, could I be able to do this? So, I just like challenging myself. I like seeing what I can do. I don't just like bodybuilding because just lifting weights all day gets boring to me. I say I don't want to be a fridge, meaning I don't want to just be all this huge guy, but if I had to run, I couldn't run. If I need to sprint, I can't sprint. If I need to hop over a fence, I can't hop over a fence because I'm just too big. Like, that never appealed to me. Like, I want to be athletic. I want to have a nice build, and I want to be able to run and do things that I love and play with my kids and so forth. So just goals changed, and that's how long I've been working out. What I enjoy most about training is probably the pump, honestly. Like, I'm a pump chaser. Like, I love feeling just swole and just like my muscles are exploding through my skin. Like, I love it, especially your shoulders and your lats. You're just looking huge. Got this big V taper. I just love the feeling of that. But I also enjoy the discipline that comes with training. See, for me personally, there's a difference between exercising and training. If you look at the definition, training is repetitions. Like, you're training, like you're building discipline. So you can't train without discipline. They just go hand in hand. So like when you're telling yourself no to desserts or sweets that you want, you're training. That's training right there. You're practicing repetitions of saying no. I'm going to choose this. It's not that you can't have it. It's just that you're choosing not to because you have an idea in mind. You have a goal in mind. Whereas exercising, which is what I think most people want from a trainer, is they just want them to exercise them really good. And that's not what you get from me. Is exercising is I'm just going to go through the motion and do this workout really quick just to say that I did it. Or worse yet, I have no idea what I'm going to do today, but I'm just going to go to the gym and just do whatever I feel like. Like, that's exercise. And like, it's, I don't want to say brainless, but it's kind of like going through the motion, whereas training is repetitions and doing stuff intentionally to just make yourself better to the goals that you want. So that's what I enjoy most, is I enjoy the pump from training physically, but I also enjoy the discipline. Not always disciplined at times. As I got older, I got a little bit more lax, but I definitely enjoy the disciplines. This definitely helps to trigger into other areas of my life to, if I want this outcome, then I know that I need to cut this out or I need to change this, just better habits, just better lifestyle. So I like the challenge. I like challenges in my life. So that's what the hardest part for me about training would probably be always feeling motivated in the sense of wanting to do it. And again, being recently more newlywed to marriage, it's like now it's not just me no more. So, we got to take that in consideration. Schedule changes. My wife's desires and my desires are completely different. She's more the sweet tooth person, whereas I can kind of do without, but it's kind of rubbing off on me now, if I'm honest with you guys. But yeah, that's the hardest part for me, is just finding the motivation, because I'm already in the gym training you guys or training clients. So like, to stay in the gym even an extra hour longer sometimes is just unmotivating. Like, man, I really just want to go home today, or so forth like that. But again, it's like, it's something that I don't see myself ever quitting. But in times like that, it's like, just get to the gym, do 30 minutes, and then call it good. And just doing that to me takes a load of pressure off, because it's like, I don't have to be in here for 6 hours. Like, I'm not in the gym like young kids for 2-3 hours doing every single chest exercise I need to, because I think it's going to grow my chest better. It's like, that's not the case. Like, again, it's just training. This is not exercising. There's intentionality. There's just more focus and more discipline. So that's probably the hardest part for me. My wife is into exercising and nutrition. She just has periods, which creates different cravings. So again, it just influences our diet. But we try to stay as disciplined as possible. I'm not saying that we just go out to eat all the time. We are intentional with cooking and cooking leftovers, so that way we know what we're having the next day for lunch, and it's not a guess. So that's a huge thing, is just planning, preparing, and just expecting, not to be perfect, expecting life to change, situations to change, and having backups to adapt to it. So such as snacks and stuff like that. So that's the hardest part for me right now. So I would like to interrupt this message or this video and just give a shout out to all my guys. Fellas, March 19th, 2023, so next Sunday, we'll be kicking off a 10-week program where we are focusing on our nutrition, we're focusing on our training, we're being intentional. And guess what? You're not going to do this alone, because I'm going to come alongside of you. I'm gonna share with you guys my routines. You guys can do them accordingly. You can make your own changes. If you only can work out 3 times a week, pick the ones that you want to do and do them. Okay, so I'm trying to form community. I'm trying to help you guys. Let's be honest, most guys don't feel like they need a trainer. But if you have someone to come along with you, then you might be actually more prone to do it, teaching you guys just like what goes into this. How do you feel your best? How do you look your best? And we're gonna do Zoom calls every 2 weeks on the Sunday or Saturday and just discuss any questions that you may have, because nobody's perfect. I don't know it all, you don't know it all, and I just want to come alongside of you guys and help you be the best versions of yourself, because not only does this impact you, it impacts your family, which we'll talk more about in this video later. So if you're interested, 10-week challenge, okay, for you guys. Get my routines, learn my supplements. We'll talk about nutrition, just breaking it down very easy. We could be as disciplined as we like or as lax as we like. Okay, your results are up to you. And then we'll also talk about our struggles. Like, all right, this is what we're struggling with. We'll come together, like, how can we overcome this? And again, Zoom calls, accountability. I'll be checking in. You guys will have access to my fitness app. So if you're interested, please sign up before March 19th, 2023, which is next Sunday. Okay, it's only $60 for 10 weeks. $6 a day. I think you got this. So Positive Gains Training started in 2014. It started as a college project as I got my associate's degree in exercise science from Henry Ford. Now it's college. Back then it was community college. So I got it from Henry Ford Community College, exercise science. Their program is actually called the Fitness Leadership Program, and that's what I completed. My class was facilities management. So we had to do a project at the very end of the semester where we had a certain amount of money, fake money, and we have a certain amount of square footage to open up our own studio / facility. And, we had to put things that we were offering. We had to write how much our gym equipment was going to cost us, just running and opening your own business. So that really sparked me. It helped me to create my business name, Positive Gains Training. I was influenced by Planet Fitness at that time, where they had the thumbs up, something positive. To me, positive gains isn't just about working out, but something additional to your life that adds value. Like, it's a positive gain. Like, this is adding value to you. This is making you better. So to me, it's like, that's what I wanted. I wanted something that added value to people, so I came up with Positive Gains. My uncle is actually the one who created my logo. He was like, just keep it simple. You just need black and white, so it's easier to print, easier to advertise. So he created my logo, Shout out to my Uncle Joe for doing that for me. And then 2015, right when I was about to finish college, I started to take on clients, which was really, really slow, by the way. So I was currently doing my internship at the Beverly Hills Club out in Royal Oak area in Michigan. Okay, shout out to Mr. Mason for allowing me to do that. He was my biggest mentor. I still keep in contact with him to this day, just to check in on him, so shout out to him, because he took me under his wing for that period of time where I had to do my internship, allowed me to train with him and his clients, taught me some things, taught me some stretches that I still apply to my clients today. So thank you guys for just allowing me to do what I did. And so 2015, I started to do my internship and I started to take clients. It's one of those things. It's like, okay, I think I got the hang of this. I can do this on my own. I didn't want to start out at a gym. I wanted to do my own thing, because let's be honest, gyms take a huge portion from personal trainers' income. Like, I'm not going to put no names out there, but seriously, they do take a huge income. So your trainer isn't earning all the money that you're charged at a big commercialized gym. So shout out to all my trainers that are working at a commercialized gym. I did work at a commercialized gym eventually, but that's not how I wanted to start. So start advertising on Facebook, on social media, hey, I'm doing this training. To me, at that point, my biggest thing was just getting some brand recognition, just building some momentum. So I was charging super dirt low. Like, I was doing like 8 sessions for the month for like $75. And to be honest with you, I didn't get no interest. So my very first client, shout out to my grandmother, who is now in heaven, whose birthday was the day after mine. She was my very first client. She was like, you know what, come over and I'll have you train me. So she allowed me to come over to her house. We was training. At that time, she had to be like 57, 58 maybe, somewhere around there. Um, I love my grandmother, but she had everything wrong underneath the sun, was very heavy set, had COPD, just everything that you can think of, was on a bunch of medications. So, me being a new trainer, is like I was new to all this, and I actually loved it because it allowed me to expand. It forced me to learn all these different things, new challenges and stuff like that. So took her on, we trained for a couple months. And then finally in the summer of 2015, I got a reach out from my first ever paying client, Charlotte and Stella. Um, Stella was a girl that I went to high school with, and Charlotte was her sister-in-law at that time. So they reached out to me, and I started training them at my local park right by my house. I had the TRX system, a couple of dumbbells, and the park. And that's how we started. We started training people at the park. They started to spread the word. I started to get other clients like Melina, and then Melina brought in another client named Tonya, and then it just started to trickle. That word of mouth just started to trickle. I was again charging super low because to me it was just more important to just get my name, get my feet wet. I technically wasn't graduated yet, and I didn't have all this experience. And to be honest, I didn't have the most confidence in myself. I didn't feel like I should be charging $65, $75 an hour when I'm still brand new. So to me, the most important thing at that time was just getting the Positive Gains brand known and just getting as much experience as I possibly can. And that's how we started our business. So at that time when we were first starting, we just did personal training and small group training. To my knowledge, online training wasn't a big thing. And again, I'm new to the space, so I'm sure probably was, but I wasn't dabbling in it. I was just trying to get the brand name known. So I just did personal training and little small group training, if you will. Obviously, when the wintertime came, we moved on to Planet Fitness. Shout out to Planet Fitness in Southgate. They knew what the heck I was doing. They knew I was training people. I actually became cool with the trainer there. Shout out to Tommy. I don't think he still works there anymore, but he was the trainer at the time, and he was super cool. He knew I was training clients in there, even though I tried to act like I wasn't, trying to do all the workouts with them. That's what they told me to do. At least act like you're working out. So, I at least tried that, but shout out to Planet Fitness. Seriously, they allowed me to do what I did. And shout out to Powerhouse in Lincoln Park at that time. Now it's Raise the Bar, but I was also training people out of Powerhouse in Lincoln Park on 4th Street as well. So now today we expanded. Now we have personal training, which is one-on-one. We have semi-private or small group where I offer 2 to 4 people at one time within the hour. How that works is everybody has access to my app. I upload your guys' workouts. Not everybody's doing the same thing. Hardly anybody's doing the same thing unless I have you work out with somebody. But everybody's doing something completely different within that hour because everybody's starting different, strengths different, goals are different. So we're just using that time to be a doctor, if you will, where I'm just bouncing between people within that time. Allows me to set up their stuff while they're looking at their app, doing their warm up, doing their stretches, so they can set up their stuff and I can just all right, this is what we're doing. If they don't know how to do it, they have access to me. It's by far one of my most popular ways of training because it's more cost efficient, as I'm not charging as much as one-on-one. So it's my most popular. I love the community feel from semi-private. People who are complete strangers end up becoming good friends and just forming that bond, which I feel is super important, especially when you're trying to get into fitness and you may not have the support at home, or you don't have friends who are trying to do the same things as you. It really does come in handy when you have people who, I don't want to say depend on you, but people who will say, hey, you're looking great, or, this is what I'm struggling with. How can we come together? So I love my small group trainings, and shout out to everybody who does them. Like, seriously, you guys are the best. I couldn't ask for any better clients. Seriously, all my clients, one-on-one and small group. So we offer that. On Saturdays at 9 a.m., I have a donation-based fitness class where I change up the context each and every week almost. So, there's always strength, there's always cardio, there's always core. But how we utilize that, like the time schemes are different, our exercises are different. I'm always aware of who's in my class. I make sure that I have modifications for them, whether you're beginner or whether you're advanced, because I want everybody to feel comfortable and obviously continue to keep coming back. And it's donation based, so they can pay whatever they would like. People think I'm crazy when I offer that. Like, they tell me you should know your worth, know your value, but you know what? I just enjoy helping people. I love teaching classes. It's one of my favorite things to do with training. So, and it's drawn more people in, and people, to be honest with you, pay me more in donation than I probably would charge. So it's a win-win for everybody. And we also offer online coaching. So online coaching is where I create your workout program. I'm very big in in-depth orientations for both personal training and online training. Okay, I want to get to know you as best as I can and help you as best as I can. I don't want to just know what your goals are, have you worked out before. I want to know what your lifestyle is. I want to know what your stress is. I want to know what your nutrition looks like. I want to know what you know and stuff like that. So I feel like that is something that separates us, which we'll talk more about. I want to get ahead of myself. But yeah, so we offer online coaching. I create you your workout regimens based on your goals, based on what you're telling me. Okay, and then I upload it to our fitness app. And then nutrition comes hand in hand with it. So if you want a meal plan, I'm open to create you a meal plan. Side note, I'm not huge into meal plans because, let's be honest, they're very rigid. And if you're not a super disciplined person, chances are you're probably gonna fall away. But I'm more into the coaching. Like, okay, this is what we're gonna start with. This is what I want you to focus on. Here's some boundaries. Let's stay within here and see how we do. Okay, I feel like it's more enjoyable for you, and I feel like it's more doable because ultimately I'm chasing consistency over perfection. And if I can get you to be consistent with what we're doing versus giving you a meal plan, you do it 2 days and the other 5 days you just fall off, there's no consistency, then you're saying I suck as your trainer. It's like, I don't want that. So I want to do something that's consistent for you. Some people like the rigidity, others don't. Okay, but that's online coaching. And as I mentioned in our brief broadcast, is we have a 10-week men's training program. I definitely want to do more programs. Next one's going to be geared towards ladies and cutting. So a little special shout out if you're watching this video. You have the behind the scenes first serve, if you will, that I am planning to do a ladies cut. But that is what we offer. Personal training, semi-private, small group, 2 to 4 people, donation-based classes. Sometimes I do specialty classes where I do charge for them, like a real set price. And then we have online coaching or fitness. What separates Positive Gains Training from other services? First of all, I want to shout out each and every trainer because, I don't know every trainer, obviously, but I know there's a ton in our area, especially in Allen Park. But each trainer, if especially you have your own business, then you have to be just persistent, self-sufficient, hardworking. So shout out all the great trainers, whether you have your own business or not. Seriously, this profession takes a lot of self-will and just persistence. So shout out to all the trainers. But I feel like what makes us different is me. If I'm honest, not to sound cocky, not to sound prideful, one thing I took from Gary Vee, who is a very big YouTube influencer, is that you are your niche. So there's not going to be another person like me. There's not going to be another person like you. So, my niche is me. And obviously I do better at training certain clients than others, but like ultimately it's just the experience. And it's, again, not to brag on myself, but just the experience that we provide at Positive Gains Training. As I mentioned earlier, like I'm big into our orientation. Like, I have previous clients right now who's telling me, I never had somebody take the time to actually get to know me as they've had other trainers before. Or, my trainer was just too busy. They'd just tell me what to do and then they'd walk away, or they'd be on their phone, or whatever the case may be. Like, to me, my number one focus and my number one thing in my mind is, how do I want someone to treat me or train me if I was in this person's shoes? And that's how I think. Like, that's my mindset is, the saying is, nobody cares what you know until they know how much you care. And I feel like that's one of the biggest things that we do great at, is just making people feel comfortable, making them feel like they're a person, not just another dollar sign. Yes, we need to eat. Yes, we need finances to survive. But at the end of the day, it's like, I genuinely want to help you. Like, I'm listening to you. I'm asking you questions. I'm getting familiar with you. So I feel like the biggest thing that separates us is myself and just the system that I have learned to implement. And then of course my faith. Like, again, I don't just wear this cross just to wear this cross. Like, I believe in it. Like, each morning I'm waking up super early to pray for my clients, asking God to help prepare the atmosphere, bless my clients, bless their finances, bless their marriages, bless their stress, bless their sleep, because I believe in those things. And I believe that fitness is just more than just what's physical. It's also in the soul. It's also in the spirit. So, I feel like that's what definitely separates us, is just the experience, myself, and of course faith plays a huge role in the business and in my own personal training. So as I mentioned, just waking up early just to pray for the clients, God set the atmosphere. May your presence be there. May it be motivating. May there be peace. May people feel comfort when they walk into there. Again, just bless these clients, bless their finances, just as they're blessing me, bless them back, give them the bonuses, give them raises. God, let your favor just be upon them. And I never know if they get raises or bonuses, but I can't say that the atmosphere is motivating. I can say that most people, if not all my clients, feel peace. I don't play cursing music. I'm not going to sit here and say I play Christian music, but I definitely listen to the lyrics. And if it's talking about, just sex and all these different things just being derogative, obviously I click next. I did train one client who loved the quote unquote ghetto rap or trap rap, and hey, to each their own. Who am I to judge you? I love you in truth, but that just isn't something that I want to personally listen to and bring into the atmosphere. So he brought his own headphones, and his workouts were great. We enjoyed training with each other. He trained with me for a very long time, over a year, and he didn't have to listen to my music and I didn't have to listen to his. So, it plays a huge role, and it just plays a huge role in my integrity on, just creating fair prices, not being greedy, being reasonably priced, obviously knowing my value, and then treating people with kindness. Again, treating people how I would want to be treated. How would I want my sessions to look like? How would I want my trainer to be with me, and vice versa? So it's probably the biggest thing that plays into our business. My favorite thing about being a trainer is getting to know people, for one. Like, these people come in as complete strangers. I'm so humbled to serve them, because this is a big step. It takes a lot of humility to say that, hey, what I'm doing isn't working, or I need some help. I need some extra guidance. So it takes a lot of humility, and I respect that 100%. So it's like getting to know these people. They're complete strangers. I'm naturally, what's the word I'm looking for? Introverted. So like, it takes me out of my shell. Like, I'm the type of guy, like, if we're on a long ride, I can be perfectly silent and be okay. Some people are not like that, but that's me. So it takes me out of my shell. It takes me out of my comfort. So I'll enjoy getting to know people. They start off as strangers and then just become friends. Like, I still have people that I'll text to check on, even if they're not training with me no more, because I don't want anybody to feel like I'm just cool with them because they pay me. Like, that is something that I don't want. And I did have one client, I don't know if he was joking or being serious, like, we're only cool because I pay you. And it's like, that's not what I want. That's not the type of person I want to portray. Like, I want people to know that I genuinely care about them, whether they're in the gym or outside of the gym. So I definitely feel like that's one of my favorites. The other part is just the mentality, like having people do things, whether it's the weight or the exercises, more than they thought that they can do. Like, I get more fired up when they hit new personal records or PRs than they do. They're like, I don't get the big deal, but like, to me, it's like, you push that, like, that's a lot of weight, or like, you never thought that you could do that, or like, their confidence before even trying is like low, and then they knock it out, and they're, especially the competitive ones, are like, yeah, let's go. Like, I love that. It gets me fired up. It's like that iron sharpens iron type deal. It helps me, and I just love seeing it. I love seeing clients enjoy their training. I love seeing clients seeing the results. Like, I love that stuff. I love seeing the change in people's lives for the better. The only downfall is that, sometimes they get too impatient and, they're like, I wish this was faster. But, I just love it. I love training. I love seeing people happy. I love seeing people healthy, and I just enjoy helping people as best that I can with something that I'm passionate about. My least favorite thing about being a trainer. This is a tough one because I love my job, but obviously no job is perfect. I think the least favorite thing about being a trainer used to be selling. Like, I feel like if you ever been in business, I think one of the most awkwardest things, if I'm honest, is asking people for their money. Like, it's one of the most awkwardest things at first until you get used to it, or until you know your value and you know your identity. Like, hey, this is a service, and you deserve this money, especially if you feel confident about what you're doing, unless you're scheming people. But that used to be my least favorite thing. I don't really have a least favorite thing about training. Maybe telling people no, that I can't fit them in my schedule, or just our times isn't working out, so unfortunately we can't continue training, or I can't pick you up as a client. But shout out to Aaron Hall and my boy Brian, who are also trainers with their own brand, that work out at the same studio with me. I try to not pawn, that's a bad word. I try to refer clients to them if I can't take clients on. But I really don't have a super least favorite thing about training. Maybe complaining. But I expect some complaints. But like, if you're just continuing complaining about the workout or about what we have to do, it's like, what are you doing here? We can't always do things that you like. You gotta get out your comfort zone. You gotta take it to the next level. So maybe complaining, like, just continue complaining, and just I just don't like complaining in general, I guess. So my personal tips to somebody that wants to be a trainer or is a trainer, is relatively new, is get your feet wet, gain some experience, train a variety of different people to really fill out who you really enjoy training. So like, for me personally, again, I love all my clients, but I feel like my favorite type of client is probably ladies between 40 and like 60 years old. Like, I enjoy training those ladies. I have a lot of education, especially when it comes to like perimenopause and menopause. So like, helping them out, seeing them get like satisfaction from, usually they never weight trained before, or like they used to back in their 20s. So, seeing them regain confidence, seeing them regain drive, seeing them do things that they didn't think that they could do, seeing them get the results that they want. Like, I enjoy training that range of people. But I mean, I like training athletes too. I gotta be honest with you, I haven't had an athlete stick super long, except for my client Jordan. Shout out to my client Jordan, who he has to be like 15, 16. Sorry if I got your age wrong. But tall kid, awesome kid, very humble, worked super hard for me. Great athlete. I've trained some other athletes as well. None of them lasted as long as Jordan. Again, I know that plays a big part with parents and stuff like that, so I'm not discrediting them at all. I've had some great clients when it came to athletes as well, but it wasn't something that I truly was passionate about, even though I thought that I was, because I like training athletically. But I would definitely say get your feet wet. So I gained a lot more experience when I humbled myself and started to work for Crunch, because Crunch had me teaching classes at first, and I got the experience of training classes and being in big groups, being in front of people. Again, I'm naturally introverted, so for the first 3 weeks of teaching classes, I'm praying and I'm hoping I don't throw up, because I'm just that nervous, because the whole gym, in my opinion, is looking at me. I gotta play my own music. I gotta be super good. One of the things I used to battle with was perfectionism. So it's like, I got all these things going on. So taking that step into possibly training for a big gym just to get your feet wet, just to get the clientele. They're going to bring in clients through, promotions and just being the name that they are. So start there. Also, again, train people how you want to be trained, in the sense of your ethics, not in the sense of their workout. I think that's one thing that trainers go wrong, is they try to train people like themselves, like literally like themselves. Come on, girl, I need you to do this 500-pound squat when she just started squatting last week. Like, okay, that's not feasible. It's not reasonable. You're going to discourage them, and they're not going to come back to you, or they're going to hate training with you. So, but I feel like it's more of ethics. Just train them like, hey, I'm gonna have your workout set up for you in advance. Let's talk on the phone every 2 weeks. These are things that I implement. Hey, here's a survey I'm gonna send out. Fill it out for me, so that way we can have communication. I know you're busy, I know I'm busy. Again, these are all things that we do at Positive Gains Training. Like, I want to be in communication with you. and as least time, I guess, taken for you to complete, and just again have a feel for like what's going on, like talk more about than just your workouts. Like they're not, training is more than just putting people through a great workout. It's about what they do at home. It's about their recovery. It's about all these other things. And I feel like that's overlooked. I feel like, the expectation is you need to put me through a great workout. I need to learn how to use these machines, and that's it. If that's all you want, then perfect. Then great. Continue to keep catering to that. But chances are most people are coming to you because they want to look a specific way, or, they just have whatever going on. So they're trusting you as the expert, even though none of us know everything, but they're trusting you as the expert to guide them at least, and hopefully make an impact, which is why we're doing this video, to make an impact, to make a change, to make a difference. I want to see my clients from 5 years ago, 5 years later, and they're still implementing the same things. Maybe they're not perfect with it, but at least something that I taught them along the lines has definitely impacted their lives and has changed them and motivated them. And, they're implementing that within their family. So get your feet wet and just have the ethic or the mindset of, I'm going to train people how I would want to be trained or treated in general, and just constant communication. Just be talking to them and just know what they want, what their expectations are, and just talk during the week or every 2 weeks, whatever the case may be. That'd be my best pro tip for a new trainer or someone who's looking to get into. What I'm hoping to do with this podcast is I'm hoping to make an impact, which is why I put that in the name, impact beyond the weights. So to me, I want people to know Positive Gains Training is more than just this fitness brand that does personal training and small group training, but I am the identity. Like, this is Tomas, this is who he is, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get people to just build rapport. Like, I'm trying to have people see like who we are, like see how clients train beyond just what's in the gym, see how clients are outside of the gym. So shout out to Inez, who did that podcast with me last time, and just, people got to see like this is a real person getting real results from this training. We're not killing her, we're not doing anything weird, we're not doing anything crazy. Like, she's being consistent, she is working hard, and she's getting the results that she wants. Shout out to Amy, who's another client of mine who did a sit down podcast with me before a couple of years ago, just talking about her story. Like, I just want people to be encouraged. I want people to know that, hey, there is somebody that can relate to you. You are not alone. This is how they're doing it. This is how it is. It's never too late unless it's too late. Okay, so, that's what I want. I also want to take an opportunity for business owners like myself to come on here and to share their business. Like, I love learning where people started. I like hearing stories of testimonies. Like, this is where we started. This is how my business idea came up. And now this is where we are. This is where we're successful. This is where we need to work on, whatever the case may be. So I'm trying to invite people who have, fitness experience to, share their story, or small business owners who want to share their story, free advertisement for both of us. Again, win-win. I'm not just trying to get all the glory, or, one person loses out and I'm just gaining all these factors. Like, it's a win-win always for me, is my mentality. And then also, if you have a Christian testimony, I'd love to hear it, how you came to faith. So just trying to make a difference in this world, trying to encourage people. There's too much negative news, too much bad news, and we just want to be a light that shines through in the darkness. So that's my hope for impact beyond the weights, just making change beyond just fitness training, but, just real life and just stuff that people can relate to. Milkshake or protein shake, I'm definitely going with a milkshake. So a couple weeks ago, my wife and I went down to Blue Sky in Romulus area, I believe on Eureka. Shout out to Blue Sky. And she had a strawberry milkshake because I said I didn't want one, but she gave me a drink, and boy, that boy slapped my jaws. That boy was so good. I feel like I'm addicted to it. Honestly, I haven't had one since, but I've been telling her, let's go get Blue Sky. I want one of those strawberry milkshakes. She's like, it wasn't even that good, but to me, it was amazing. So definitely a milkshake. Look super lean or lift super heavy. I've never been a person who wants to just get so strong. Like, lifting 315-pound bench press just has never been appealing to me. Like, when am I ever going to use that, right? I'd rather be the person who, again, train athletically. Like, there's a higher chance of me probably having to run than me having to lift 315 pounds laying on my back. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but it's just not appealing to me. So I think I'd probably go with the super lean over the strength, hip hop or Latin music. This one's a tough one for me personally. I don't listen to secular hip hop for one. I always listen to Christian rap. That is something that I did give to God more recently because I love my music, and you would think that Christian rap is boring, but honestly, there's some great artists out there. There's some great songs out there. There's songs that I put on my video. I'm like, man, this boy hits. But I do like my Latin music as well. It's tough. I feel like I'm gonna go more towards the Christian hip hop because I've been listening to that for like months consistently. I haven't really listened to a lot of my Latin music, but there is times where I like my bachata or reggaeton, whatever the case may be. I try to keep it clean as possible, obviously, but I'm gonna go more Christian hip hop. Burpees or run a mile? Give me the burpees for sure. I do burpees for warm up, so it's like I do them for fun. Crazy. Pizza or tacos? Sheesh, that's a tough one because I love them both. I think I'm gonna have to lean more towards pizza. Only reason is because I eat it more. Other than that, I do love my tacos, my carne asada. Them boys hit. I love when my grandparents get the barbacoa and the tamales, and we go over there on Sundays every once in a while, and we have those as a taco, and man, them boys slap your jaws too. So it's a tough one, but I eat more pizza than I do tacos, so I'm definitely gonna go with pizza on this one. So I'd like to thank you guys for taking this time to sit and chat with me. I hope that something resonated with you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Get up and stretch, as we're trying to provide as best content as we can for you, educating you, motivating you, inspiring. So definitely appreciate you if you watched the whole entire video. You are awesome. Like, comment, share, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Positive Gains Training. Come join a donation-based fitness class if you want to see what all the hype is about. Saturdays at 9 a.m. in our private studio. Pay whatever you would like. Okay, if you're interested in any of our services, go on our website at positivegainstore.com. Definitely need to upload it. And then men, 10-week program. Don't miss out. $60, $6 a week. Learn our workouts, learn what our nutrition goes into, learn our supplements, and just learn our struggles. Like, we're not perfect either. We have our own struggles, and we'll come together and get you the results that impact you and your family. Let's pass it on. I feel like that's a big thing. Like, this isn't just for us, this is for our family. Set the example. I got into fitness because of my dad and my stepdad, so they all played an influence in me. So I wouldn't have this business, I wouldn't be doing this video if it wasn't for their influence. So thank you guys for your time. This is Tomas Ramirez from Positive Gains Training, located in Allen Park, and you guys are awesome. This is Impact Beyond the Weights. Welcome back, guys. We hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to take it that extra mile, share it with your friends and family, as we're trying to create as much impact or difference as we possibly can. Also, if you feel like you can add some value to our podcast, or we can add some value to you, we would love to have you on here, or vice versa. Please don't hesitate to reach out. For more information on any of our services or joining us on our podcast, you can find us at positivegainsstore.com. This is Tomas Ramirez, the owner of Positive Gains Training, and you were watching Impact Beyond the Weights.